Hello Stampers, this is Kate with Kate's Creations here to bring you a couple of cards using Stampin' Up! Products from current Stampin' Up! Catalog. These products I'm using today are all in the current July to the end of December mini catalog, and they're Christmas cards. So I am going to be using this Piece to You stamp set. I'm going to be using this image right here. I'm probably going to use some faceted gems to put on that. I'm using the Stylish Shapes dies, and I'm using this specific die from this set to make the sentiment. And then I am using the Merriest Frames Hybrid embossing folder and dies that come together as a bundle. And so this is the embossing folder I'm going to be using. And then the dies I'm going to be using are this die, and this die to make the cards today. And I wanted to show you, you can emboss just a piece. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You can put it in here and just emboss, and you have a beautiful white background. You can create this look with it cut out, and let me show you how you do that. You place your die on the, what I call the front of the die, and when you do, you're going to place it with the cut side up. Got to turn it till I get it right. Duh. And when you set it on here, it will fall into place, and you can feel it. It kind of sets in to place. Okay, once that's done, you can set it like that, and you can feel that it's set in place. Then you're going to lay your card, just carefully lay your cardstock over the top of that. Make sure that your edges line up and all the cut parts are covered. And then carefully close it like that. And then you're going to run it through your Stampin' Cut emboss machine. And because this is a hybrid folder, you're only going to use the base plate, number 1, your card with the folded edge going in first, and number 4, just like that. And let me run it through. Off camera, sorry, but here we go. And then when you bring it back and open it up, then here's your card piece, all embossed and cut all in one step. Cool, huh? So then these will be ready to use for a card. I wanted to show you that. And then this piece is designed to create the center. And I'll be showing you how I'm going to use that. So that's one way. Get that little Chad out of there. That's another way that you can do it. Okay. Let's make card number 1. Card number 1 is a super, super simple card. It only needs a couple of pieces. I'm not sure what I did with all my pieces. These are for the second card. Oh, always something, you know? I'm just really good at this. So, you need a piece of base card. I used thick with basic white, and of course it's 5 1/2 by 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and we're going to just emboss the front of the card. Now I marked my folder, the part that says Stampin' Up! On it, that's the front. That's going to be the part that's raised that you want to show up on your card. And I don't know how many times somebody has asked you when you have your card scored, which way do I fold it? Do I fold it towards the bump, or do I fold it towards the valley, the hill or the valley? You always fold it towards the valley, just so people will know. You know, it's just one of those things. I'm probably bumping my camera. I didn't get my bone folder out, evidently. Let me get that so I can burnish this. All right, bone folders are hiding today too. There we go. Okay, here's the bone folder. I'm going to burnish that. And then I am going to just put this in here and center it as best I can from left to right and lining it up with the fold. So I think that looks pretty good. Now this time I am going to run this through sideways because I'm just doing it on the front of the card. Now you could do it like I did earlier, like this on a separate piece, and then you wouldn't have the deboss on the inside of the card, but sometimes I think that's kind of cool. So we're going to do it that way so you can see what it will look like, and we will put it through the machine again off camera. There we go. And we take it out, and there's our card front. Pretty cool. Okay, now to get that center look, I just took a piece of regular basic white. I cut it 3.5 by 3.5 so that it would fit with the picture, with the stamp that I'm using, okay? And I'm going to use my stamp apparatus because this, I just want to make sure it stamps well. And I've already set it up. But what I did is I put it in here, I put my cardstock in here, and then I marked where I had it. You can see my little corner marks here and here so that I could make more than one. And so this will keep lining up because I'll be able to just put this piece in here. And it's not critical because I'm going to cut it out a second time. But this gives me a basic general placement. And I'm just going to ink this up really good. Like that. And then I'm going to put it in place. And I have a, you can press it into place, and that works pretty slick. I bought myself one of these dry erase board erasers so that I could come in here and kind of push a little bit harder to get a really good image, and open it up, and you can see where it didn't do it, but it doesn't need more ink. It just needs to be pressed harder in certain places. And I found that to be true no matter how I did it. So that's why I used the stamp apparatus, so I can just keep putting it back down and pressing some more until I get it to look the way I want it. And if I have to re-ink it, I can, because that's what you can do. Now I'm happy with that. So I'm going to take that off, and we're going to need a second one for the second card. So I'm just going to put this in here so you can see how I did that. We'll line it up with those corners, put my magnets on just the very corner to kind of hold the card and stock in place, and we'll ink it up again and do it again. It looks very well inked, and we'll do it one more time because we're going to need two of these because my second card uses the same design. Okay, we'll press that down. You could also stand and press. Probably get a pretty good press there. It's not looking too bad. I'm going to give it a little more pressure. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so we'll save that piece for later, and I can set this aside for now. Now I'm going to take this piece, and I want it to fit in this square. Super easy, because all I need is my die that has now disappeared. No, here it is. And I'm going to put my cutting board back together for the cutter, and I am going to just place this on here, cutting as close to the church as I can, and it's just, and side to side as best I can. I might use a piece of washi tape just to hold it in place. This is about all I ever do with washi tape anymore. Let's see, how does that look? I think that looks pretty good. So let's cut that out. I'll be right back. And there's the piece with the pretty stitching. It looks really good. We've got to do that twice because I'm going to need one for the other card as well. So I'm just going to do it again right here. And you're losing a little bit of that one tree, but it still looks fine. I like it anyway. That's totally a personal choice, of course, but it wouldn't fit otherwise. This will make the second card go even faster, having these pieces already done. So there's that piece. Okay, so now all I did was take this piece and put dimensionals on the back. Get some dimensionals here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's simple. And center it in that little frame like that. And then I took a piece like this, and it doesn't have to be this big, but this is what I had on hand. I just grabbed a scrap, and I'm using one of the sentiments from the same stamp set. It's called Piece to You stamp set, and it says, "May God's hope and love shine on you this season." And I'm stamping before I cut, because if I cut this out and then try to stamp it, I never seem to get it straight. But I can put it on here like this, and I can. So I'll use my washi tape again. I have my lamp overlooking my desk, and I have little pieces of washi tape stuck to it. There we go. Let's cut that out. This will work for both of them as well, because I'm using the same sentiment too. So here we go. Quick and easy. And there's my sentiment, and I put it on with a couple of dimensionals as well, just like this. And I put my sentiment right down here. And then if you want to add just a little bit of bling, these elegant faceted gems are just gorgeous. And they have, I used the white ones. There's clear and white and kind of a champagne color. I used the white ones, and I used the smaller of them. And I just added some in this snowy area around the trees like this. Just to add a little bit of bling. And that's the card number 1. Now let's make card number 2. Card number 2 starts out the same. It is a piece of basic white thick, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And we are going to take it and fold it towards that valley and burnish the edge so that it folds nicely. The next layer is a layer of Orchid Oasis. Oh, by the way, that is the color I'm using for these. I forgot to tell you, Orchid Oasis. This is a piece of the Orchid Oasis cardstock, and I am going to, I have cut it to the full size of the card, so it is 5.5 by 4 1/4, because I want to cover the entire front of the card. And I am just going to be using Stamp and Seal and put that down. Come on. There we go. Sometimes I have a little difficulty with it, but it's really good adhesive when it works. I don't know why it's giving me grief today. There we go. It's finally working. Okay, and I just start by holding down one corner, work it up to that corner, lay it down, and we got a perfect match. There we go. The next layer I am putting on is the, get the name of it. This is the Snowflakes Vellum, and this one has these beautiful kind of silvery sparkles on it. Okay, I'm going to be putting that on here. It is cut 4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to go on there flat. And I actually have some Tombow vellum adhesive that I am going to use on that. It's a little less visible when you use it, and so that's why I'm using it. And it's going to go on there with that 1/8 inch border all the way around. So again, just getting this front and the 2 ends, and then everything else falls into place. And look at that, just how beautiful that is. And it picks up the blue behind it just a little bit. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now the next piece we're going to do is using a piece of basic white. Here's my basic white. Okay, I remember what to do. Thanks for your patience. I have a piece of basic white. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I have the intricate die. And I am going to place this on here, matching it up to the die that's in here. And it's going to cut it out. And there's not a little groove where it's going to fit into place like the other one did, because we're putting this cut side up, but it will. It's not super difficult to match it up. So we get it. Got a little bit of a bend in it, and I'm trying to get it there. It lays flatter. Okay. And get it lined up. And like I say, you can see, you might not be able to see in the video, but I can tell it's very well lined up here. Then I'm going to lay this piece on top. And the idea is to just center it without moving that die. So, and if you just lay it on there carefully, it will work. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's cutting out. So if it's not totally square, as long as the die itself is covered, that's all you need. Then I'm going to close this over the top, and I'm going to run it through the Stampin' Cut Emboss. Let me do that. I hope I kept it lined up. I'm going to run it through back and forth more than once because I want it to be sure and cut it out. Okay, then I'm going to turn it around so that the open end is here, and I'm going to turn it over so the die is on the top, and then I'm going to open it carefully so I don't move my piece of cardstock. And I'm going to just carefully lift this off. Then I'm going to close it back up again because the piece is cut out, but it's not embossed yet. The die kept it from being embossed. So now I'm going to run it through again, and that will emboss the piece I just cut out. So let's do that. And here we are. And let's hope it all cut out beautifully. This is probably the trickiest part of this, is getting the card piece to come apart. That's going to be garbage anyway, so I'm not too worried about that part. There it comes, a little bit at a time. Got a little bit there. And sometimes I have to come back with a pokey tool and get these little pieces out that are around here. Little chads, or whatever they are called. So we get all the little details punched out. Let go. There we go. We're getting there. This takes a minute to get all the little pieces out of the way. Oops. There's that one. Okay, have I missed any? Yep, here's a couple over here. That looks good. There's one there. And I got this one little piece right here that needs to come. There we go. And there's a little bit right there. There's that piece. Okay, so there's all the pieces, and it's all nicely embossed and everything. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, there's a couple more. Always something. There's that one and that one. I seem to always manage to miss a few. That one needs to come out. That one. Okay, now I think I've got them all. Okay, so there's the piece for the front, and it's going to go on here just like this, or like this, depends on how you want to put it on your card. Doesn't matter orientation wise. I did not put adhesive on the back of this. I am going to just use Stamp and Seal, and I'm only going to put it on this center piece. I'm going to let the others be easy, just kind of let them lift up. They're not going to be that bad, you know. They're not going to like get in the way of the envelope or whatever. And so, and I think I like mine best in this direction. There's another Chad just fell out. Okay, and I'm just going to center it on here just like that and press down that middle piece. Isn't that lovely? Oh, I just love it. Now, we made this piece earlier, and you saw how we did that. It's going to go on just like we did with the first card with some dimensionals. You can see I used the back side of this piece before, playing around, learning how to do it. So, don't pay any attention to the back of the piece. And again, just centering it in that piece, just like that. Again, you can add some bling with the gems that I had out here that I can't find right now. But anyway, the gems. And you can add the sentiment, and then this is what that finished card is going to look like. So this is like the simple version, and this is the stepped up version. And aren't they beautiful? I hope you've enjoyed them. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave me a comment if you did. If you aren't subscribed to my blog, I invite you to do so. I'm not super consistent with videos. I used to do 3 a week, then I reduced to 2 a week, and now it's like when I can get to it, I do it. But I try to teach you something, so you learned a little bit through my confusion. You've learned a little bit about how to use this lovely Merriest set and frame the Merriest Frames Hybrid set. And so I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit with me and stumbling your way through it with me. And I look forward to hearing from you.